All right, everybody, welcome back to Parents vs. Gaming. This is a special episode. I know for those that listen and that you guys like to follow us, this is our original show. We're on Last Choice Network. We've launched 5 or 6 other shows. We talk about them all the time. We still have our Sunday live show. We've got our Wednesday game show. We've got a horror podcast, scary stuff. We've got an anime podcast. We've got some female gamer stuff coming in the pipeline. And of course,
James, what's the name of the anime podcast?
Konnichiwa. Nailed it!
Konnichiwa!
Konnichiwa! Which is the anime podcast by our 2 Texas representatives. I'm in Texas myself, but they are from here, which is where you get the yeehaw. Now, of course, Parents vs. Gaming has made a lot of changes over the year. So we want to say thank you to all that have been listening, that have been watching. It really means a lot. It's kind of helped propel us to the next venture. I know Jay and I have a special podcast that'll be coming next year as well, which is his soapbox moment that we'll be doing together. That'll start in January as well. And I do want to thank Jordan for all that she's done on this podcast. She really helped take us to the next level. When Jay and I asked her, we took a big risk on her. She took a big risk on us. Nobody knew each other, and now we consider her like family. And then, of course, we've been very, very lucky to replace Jordan just in this show because we've geared it towards being parental, where Jordan is younger and doesn't have a kid yet. So we're very happy to have Kia. So thank you so much, Kia, for joining this and continuing this. Now, this episode is a little bit special. And for those parents out there, you might be able to relate to this episode as Jay is half paying attention if you're watching on video already, because he's trying to squeeze in video game time while we record a podcast at the same time, which leads me into what we're going to talk about today. It's that time is valuable. And a lot of times you don't have the time, which is why we haven't had a podcast episode in 2 weeks. Adding 5 shows that I produce and edit has been a big task. Asking 12 people to work for you that don't get paid is also a big task. So I appreciate everyone that's on the Last Choice Network team. But we want to let you guys know that Parents vs. Gaming is not going anywhere. It is our original show. It's our bread and butter. It's what started everything. We're super excited what's going to happen in January. We're going to revamp the show a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting. But besides this episode, we're going to do 2 additional episodes, a Thanksgiving episode and a Christmas episode, just to help you guys get through the holidays and kind of a refresh maybe on some consoles and PC stuff that you could buy as you get closer to that Christmas break. Of course, what games you should buy, what you shouldn't buy, why you shouldn't buy something. Maybe you have an Xbox with Game Pass and the new Halo came out and you're like, oh, I need to get my kids the new Halo game. No, you don't, because it's included in Game Pass. So just a few reminders and tips and tricks on what to do in the future. But with that being said, I'm going to kind of go around the room. We're going to talk about why we've been busy, what's been going on, and to let you know as a parent, sometimes it's okay if you can't do all the fun things that you want to do. It doesn't mean you have to put it away for good. A lot of times people say, I just don't have the time for my hobby. And it doesn't matter if it's working on cars, building things, going to amusement parks, whatever your hobby is, the thing that you do on a site. Maybe it is playing video games. And you feel like at this moment, because holiday season is coming up between your job and your family and kids, that you just don't have time. So you get to that point where you start arguing with your spouse and you say, I can never play video games again. I just don't have the time. No, you just don't have the time right now. And that's okay. As Jay's throwing a temper tantrum, which is why Kia's trying not to laugh. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see all this. If you're just listening, please go check out the YouTube video just to watch Jay act crazy. So let me kick it over to you, Jay, and just kind of piggyback off of what I'm saying, some tips and tricks to parents or relationships that maybe they don't have kids. We've talked about this before, relationships, and one doesn't like gaming, the other does, and they struggle finding the time, and it just explained to them it's okay to take breaks. Your thoughts?
Look, I was playing one of the new play modes on Warzone. I was playing Clash. I didn't hear anything. Can you just kind of recap everything you just said?
I know you're playing. Don't play me today, Jay. Don't play me today. I'm tired. I'm supposed to be working.
You've got to, I don't know, are we allowed to talk that you're engaged now?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
You're just adding one more thing on your schedule already.
One more thing.
One more thing.
There's one more thing.
What? So, really, it's all about time management for me. I can't speak for how you guys handle it, but for me, I've got a pretty set routine on it. James probably knows that I'm a pretty routine guy with to probably a fault. I'm usually within 15, 20 minutes of pretty much everything I do on a regular basis. So, for me, I know what the nighttime routine is. Start getting ready, kind of get the kids, make sure the homework's done, make sure everything's done at 6 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, we're done, teeth are brushed, and we're heading towards bed. By 7:15, we're in bed. We're reading books for about 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes of dad time in the bed, hanging out, chatting, and everything else. 8 o'clock done, they're asleep. 8:05. I'm usually texting James, dude, are you getting on tonight? And then I usually play games for about a half hour to an hour, depending on my evening. And then from there, I make sure the kitchen's clean. I make sure the dishes are done, because if mama ain't happy, no one's happy. And so I always make sure the living room and the kitchen are clean, so she can walk into a clean area, get the dishes done, trash out, all of that. And then I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. So, I mean, for me to be able to try to squeeze in gaming and everything else, it's just priorities, right? It's just, I've got my work in the morning. I've got, kids getting them to school, everything like that. I've got my evening routine set in with the kids. And, that's just how I manage being able to get this in when the demands on my schedule are through the roof.
Now, when you get to the point where it's kind of like how we've been the last couple of weeks, and things ramp up and you get crazy and you don't have the time, especially in those relationships or those families where one person likes gaming, one person doesn't. And the person that doesn't always seems to be looking for a reason to make you stop playing for good. What's your tip for both parties in that situation?
Here's my thing. That's kind of a red flag.
Listen, we're not trying to break up marriages here, Jay.
No, it's over. It's done. Everyone's miserable. But that's kind of a red flag, right? I mean, if we were to switch that over and say, okay, James, you collect Barbies, and you like to research the price on them, and you like to you have your time where you set up the dream house, and Ken comes over for a little something before bed and everything. It's if that's your thing, that's your hobby, that's a part of you as a person, and it's not detrimental, you're not going out and hurting people and stuff. I don't know. That for me, that's kind of a yellow flag, I guess. Maybe orange, maybe a hard orange. As far as it's a part of you, it's your hobby, and if it was any other hobby other than gaming, you would be telling people, oh well, if she doesn't like your train set, then you got to kick her to the curb or kick him to the curb. I'm not sure why gaming is suddenly like acceptable just to get poo-pooed on. As I learned in ASL, this is bullshit.
Now, as far as when you do get busy, I mean, do you agree that it's okay to take breaks? Like you said, you got to put your priorities first, and just because you take a break doesn't mean you necessarily need to stop doing it for good.
So, couple trains of thought on that. So, for me, like I mentioned earlier, like I'm a routine guy, and so that hour that I get to play video games is my time. That's when I reset. That's when I connect with friends. That's when everything. The busier I get, usually the more I'm focused on making sure I have that time set aside specifically for it. Now, don't get me wrong. There'll be 3 or 4 or 5 days where I just kind of disappear because of other stuff. But for the most part, I think it's actually more important for you to be able to get that time in if that is indeed the thing that you enjoy. So if I was to say, hey, if you're an avid book reader and you haven't gotten a chance to read your book in a while, you'd sit there and say, oh, well, I've really got to get back into it. That kind of what makes me happy, to kind of what centers me. You wouldn't get any pushback, but because it's, hey, I like to play video games and meet randoms on, Resurgence and, everything else. That's your jam. That's your downtime. That's your hobby. Then you need to treat it like one, and also not feel like you're sneaking around, or there's some issues.
And it can get like that sometimes. People can make you feel that way, or you can make yourself feel that way. I mean, there are times right now where I feel that way, and I am in a relationship who is now, I'm with someone that's very supportive in all this podcasting and all the gaming that I do. she's extremely supportive, but because of some of my past relationships that just shit on it all the time, I feel very much like I don't need to be sneaky, but I have that feeling like I feel sick sometimes if I'm like, oh, I'm going to not talk to her on the phone more than, an hour tonight because I want to game with my boys. It makes me feel bad,
Jesus.
but it's not that she's making me feel bad. It's just these past relationships that I held on to that always kind of.
It's what you've been conditioned to.
Yeah,
you've been conditioned to feel that way.
Well, and that's why they're single and doing all their things, and you're getting married to a good woman. So once again, it's red flags in the relationships. And Jesus, dude, you talk on the phone for an hour?
No. Let's.
Oh my God,
that may have been exaggerating. It's like pulling teeth if she gets me for more than 15 minutes on the phone.
Look, my husband calls and he's like, he tells me what he needs to tell me, and like that call's done within like 15 seconds.
I'm like that. Yeah.
The only time you get a phone call from me is when I'm driving in traffic.
Yeah. Same.
It's because I can't text. Like, that's when I'll call people. Other than that, you're getting a text message or a GIF.
So Kia, what are your thoughts on this whole? I know you've been super busy as well, and that's like again why we haven't had an episode in a couple of weeks. But what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Okay, well, there's so much. I've been so busy, but I'm kind of like Jay. I'm very I like to have like a schedule, somewhat of a schedule, because if I don't, I won't stick to anything. I'm usually a very go with the flow type person, but for me to actually like focus on something, I have to make myself a schedule to do things. So like with my cookies, like I write it down and I'm like, okay, I need to start them at this time on this day to make sure they're done in time. Like I have to write it down. I have to make a schedule. And you guys know I stream. My stream schedule I'm very strict with it. So it's like when I was busy those last 2 weeks with cookie orders and cupcake orders, I was like, okay, I have to be done by this time so I can get on and do my stream and enjoy myself. Because I do like to play games. That's my downtime. It's what I like to just kind of decompress. It's how I cope with things that go on in life that stress me out. So like a 6-year-old that won't listen to you. But so I do like to have a schedule, and I like to stick to it, at least for those types of things. But usually anything else, I'm just like, yeah, sure, go with it. But I do like to have a schedule when it comes to certain things, and I like to stick to it. As far as gaming and relationships, I'm just saying, I know where my husband's at. He games. I know where he's at. I can't. I mean, I know he ain't out at the club. I know he ain't buying drinks. I know he ain't flirting with some chick. Like,
hey, he could be playing GTA 5. He can do all that in GTA 5.
Let's see. There you go. So you can just do it on a game. But it's like I know where he like. That's why I never understood that. I never understood that perspective. I know a lot of women were like that. I know some men. I don't know too many men that are like that. Usually they're more of
I know
like,
a couple.
Game? What? Mostly women. I've seen it. I've had people that I've known that are like that. They're like, oh my God, he games all the time and he's never. And I'm like, where's he at? Oh, he's at home gaming. Okay, you know where he's at. Why are you worried? Why are you worried? You know where he's at. He's not cheating on you with some random chick at the bar. So why are you worried? So honestly, I've always thought that if someone pretty much tells you need to give up something that you love, I've always been told that's a red flag. So
yeah, no,
I don't think you should ever have to give something up. I mean, unless it's causing some unless you're like a gambling addict, like maybe might need to give that up a little bit and go see. But I mean,
and
everybody
has
hobbies.
Yeah, and I think when you start talking into the addiction side, and I know we've addressed gaming addiction with gambling addiction and a lot of other things.
We did. And
Jay has spent rounds. He gets on his soapbox and he talked about it with his own family. It's called handling your shit. If you are gaming to the point that you are not spending time with your family or your kids and you're putting the gaming as a priority, yes, then you probably need to take a step back or look for help or whatever you need to do. But I definitely agree, whether it's gaming or like I said, no matter, like Jay said, no matter what your hobby is, you really do need to take that extra time. And it is true, the busier you are, it might be more beneficial because you get super busy. You start cutting out the me time, that moment, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's an hour, whether it's an hour and a half, where it's you, man, that's why they make those Snickers commercials where you're looking hungry because you can turn into a cranky person. You're not getting that moment to decompress, to just relax, and you start projecting, all this out on other people, which is never healthy as well. Now, it is Parents versus Gaming, so we've given you our tips. We've explained why we've been so busy. I, of course, just recently got engaged. Bachelor Party coming up in Vegas in February. Wedding in September.
Woo!
Next year in Beaches, Turks, and Caicos. Jay
I got off the phone with Big Mike a little bit earlier.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So Jay and Big Mike, my best man Big Mike, are kind of running the show. They're putting everything together. So I'm just kind of sit back and relax and let them handle everything. But
that's what you're supposed to do.
By the way, if anyone listens to this and you're like, man, I'd like to meet a couple of these guys. I know there's only maybe like 3 fans out there, but for any reason, reach out to lastchoicenetwork@gmail.com. I will connect you with Jay, who's a travel advisor. Turks and Caicos, September 23rd weekend of next year at Beaches. So even if you just want to come by to have yourself a vacation and have a good time, anyone is welcome to come out. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and for the bachelor party, we're going to have a hookers and blow section and a hookers and no blow section, and then a no hooker, no blow section. So really, we're going to have it divided up into 3 groups. So, depending on your poison and how hard you want to go in Vegas. Yeah. No, you're totally fine. No judgment. You can also switch groups in the middle of it. So you have lots of options.
Feeling like you need something else.
Yeah. I was in the hooker. No blow. Now I feel like some blow.
I've had to explain this context from Sunday's live episodes to so many people, including people in my family, Milena, that like sometimes we just like Jay's not really dead serious. He's just messing around. It's like it's just for fun. He also might be somewhat serious. I don't know. It doesn't mean I'm going to partake in those things. I also said to Milena, I think Milena said to me, and Kia, by the way, you're invited to all this stuff too. So if you're interested in coming to Beaches, Turks, and Caicos, we could always do a Parents versus Gaming live epised, which would be pretty
fun,
cool.
Huh?
So if you and the hubby and the
I'll
kid
call you later
want to come out,
you want the hookers or the blow.
No. But it is a good family resort, so it'd be an awesome place to turn it into a little vacation for you and the hubby and Kane. You might have a blast. So if you're interested, let us know.
Okay.
But I said to Milena the other day, Jay, I said, yes, we all goof around. Yes, my old Club Med buddies are crazy. We had our moment in the sun. And now you've got a bunch of old married people that we might talk a big game. We might act a big game. But I guarantee at like 9 o'clock the next morning, everyone's going to be popping Advil. Their back's going to be hurting. People are going to crawl themselves down to the pool. It's not popping up like a spring chicken anymore. But I also told her, I said, I have a lot of friends that are crazy, whether it's you, whether it's Big Mike, whether it's Damien, Jeff and Brian Davidson. But I also have the type of friends that no matter what we did, if I started to put myself in a dishonest situation, I have the type of friends that would literally beat the shit out of me and make sure none of that happened, no matter how inebriated I was.
Which is fantastic because it's all legal in Las Vegas. So we don't even need them to like chaperone you this time.
It's always good to have those friends.
So it's nice, and it's nice to have and that's the kind of friends you want, right? That they're going to be crazy, they're going to let you be crazy, but they're not going to let you do anything that's going to ruin yourself, which is
I'm that friend. I'm the friend that always pulls the crazy person away. The friend that intervenes.
Which is why we have the 3 distinct categories. I'm sure there'll be a Google form that gets sent out earlier, like kind of helping you figure out who's into what group, and there'll be separate itineraries for each one.
Like, what group do you want to be in?
That's cute.
Yeah, they've got a Google document going on like what you want to do in Vegas, whether it's the All-Star game, the Pro Bowl, like it's
I love it.
It's too organized for me. I glance at it and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in charge of any of this. I couldn't handle it.
great.
It's too organized for
It's
myself.
Organized. I love
It's
it.
going to be a good sized group too. I'm excited.
Nice. So the gaming side of Parents versus Gaming, a couple of games recently just hit Game Pass. For those that don't know, It Takes Two is an awesome little story game. Kids would love it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it is a couch co-op style of game. You can play online with a friend. You can also, one person can buy the game, and the other person can get a friend token for free if they don't have Game Pass or you're not on Xbox, whether you're PC or your PlayStation. But it did come to Xbox Game Pass, which is great for those that don't know. And also Forza 5. Awesome car racing game, basically like an open world car racing game. There is no better car racing game out there. It's a $60 to $100 game, depending on what version you want to get. It is free on Game Pass right now, which is great. So if you've got kids that like, it's a lot of fun. I jumped into it last night a little bit. Key, it's an absolute blast. So if you've got kids that just like driving a car around through Mexico and running cactuses over. It's just open world. Pick whatever car you want. You can do races, you can do stunts, or you can just drive around doing nothing. There is no, rhyme or reason. The game looks beautiful.
There's a fun Easter egg in it right now too that I saw last night, where you get to drive the what's the vehicle from Halo?
The Warthog.
Warthog.
Thank you. Yeah, you can actually get that and drive the Warthog around in it.
I hope it drives better in that
cool.
game than it does in Halo, because it is a
Yeah,
nightmare.
it's horrendous driving it in Halo.
But it's on. This thing is so overpowered. It's like on purpose. If you get someone in Halo multiplayer that knows how to drive a Warthog like really good, your team can just
My
My husband
wreck
was
people.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
my husband
crazy.
was really good. Him and his team, they used to always, they called it Gangster Wars. Just ride around, pistols only. The only person who could shoot was the person in the passenger. Like, I was like, what? Like, why? It was just fun.
Now,
I'm like, all right.
the most popular game in the world is still probably Call of Duty Warzone. Jay, the new Call of Duty game is out, but Warzone map has not been updated to reflect the new game, correct?
Correct.
So Warzone, for those that don't know or remember, maybe your kids are finally getting to the age you're going to let them play Call of Duty finally. The multiplayer and the campaign this year is called Call of Duty Vanguard. It is a World War II game. That's going to run you about $60 to $70, depending on the platform that you're using. But keep in mind, the Battle Royale version, the Warzone version, that is free to play. So you don't necessarily have to go in and buy the $60, $70 game. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Any kid that's jumping into Call of Duty right now is probably not going to play that $60, $70 version of Vanguard. They just want to play the Battle Royale because that's what's on YouTube, that's what's on Twitch, that's what's on podcasts, that's what they talk about. So keep in mind, you can let them play. You don't need to spend any money to let them play. Just another friendly reminder. Same thing with Apex Legends and Fortnite. If you're ready to just maybe let them step into the shooter space, but you want that cartoony look, Fortnite is still extremely popular. They have all kinds of events. Fortnite is crazy. They do a lot of in-game live events. Just
They
a month ago,
especially
Kia,
around
they
the
had
holidays.
they had Ariana Grande come on and do a live concert.
Yep.
In the game. There's no other game that does anything like that. So there's a lot of cool experiences, and where especially kids that are just getting used to playing video games, they don't have to be good to have fun in this game. There's so many side things to do.
And what's ridiculous is I jumped into Fortnite for the first time ever, and I ended up winning. And that's probably what's tainted my my opinion on Fortnite for the longest time, because I was like, this game's stupid, because it was so easy. But it was, I know it was fluke and it was just an accident.
Yeah, it's definitely circumstantial.
I've seen some people get pretty toxic over that game though, and I don't know.
Like Ninja.
I don't know.
Yeah, we had to put in a no Fortnite dancing rule at football practice.
Oh boy!
It was like the second week, because
Oh no!
see him over there in the dancing, and I looked over and I was like, okay, everyone on the line, we're running until you guys don't have Fortnite dancing energy anymore. And
no.
so it is still incredibly popular.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, on the PlayStation side of things, Kia and Jay, anything coming up this holiday season for them? Or are they doing the usual and pushing things back till spring?
I'm trying to think. I know.
Super exciting on the Sony side, everyone.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Yeah. Cricket.
I don't think they have any new games being released, honestly. Until, new God of War comes out in February. I think that's all they've got.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't think of anything right
That's
off
all
the
they've
top of my
got.
head.
So, Jay, hopefully Santa Claus will be bringing you an Xbox so you can start playing games with us.
I'll be in either Jamaica or in Florida so I don't think Santa's going to be able to find me.
Well, hopefully he delays your order. We just recently, one thing, there's crossplay gaming. I want to talk about that a little bit for parents that don't understand. There's a lot of crossplay gaming that's out there where you can, one friend can be on a PlayStation, one friend can be on a PC, one friend can be on an Xbox. And myself and Master Shadows, which is Taylor Brown, who's on a few of our shows, and he's on the anime show, and Jay, we recently started playing Hunt Showdown. And if you initially look it up online, it tells you that it's crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox. This has got to be, Kia, the stupidest crossplay system ever. Because it's just crossplay that you can play with people on the other consoles to enhance the player pool. And it's crossplay that you can randomly matchmake with someone on the other console. And have in-game voice chat. But you cannot invite your friend from the other console to be a part of your party to purposely launch into the game. So
that's stupid.
it's got to be one of the stupidest. Now, the more and more I've looked into this, because I've been so frustrated about the situation that Jay spent money on a game that he can't play with us unless we sit there and keep hitting random until we accidentally match up. There's quite a few games actually have done this, and it's clearly just turning it on to boost their player pool. And they keep saying, due to technical difficulties, we're not sure if we can figure out how to make crossplay invites. Which is, when Call of Duty and Fortnite are doing it, Rocket League, they're all doing it, Apex is doing it.
You can cross-platform with Destiny. Bungie's done it.
Yeah,
you can
so if Bungie can do it...
someone on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC.
Yeah, I don't understand what the hold-up is with Crytek and why they can't figure this out, or they just don't want to put in the extra work. The game's a phenomenal game.
Doesn't Warzone does it too? Don't they?
Correct. Yeah, pretty much. There's only a handful that don't do it. But keep an eye out if you have kids with friends, or you yourself have friends on other platforms that you want to play games together. Just keep an eye out on that. Do your research, especially if you've got to purchase the games. Thankfully, we didn't have to spend tons of money. I think Jay dropped $20 on it, so it's not going to kill him. But when he gets that Xbox, he'll have to rebuy the game again, he'll love that, so he can play with us.
Never play that fucking game again. That is the dumbest shit ever. The whole fucking point of crossplay is so you can have an Xbox, your boys can have a PlayStation, you can include the cheaters from PC if you want to, but the whole point was to actually be able to play together. Like, that's not crossplay enabled. That's we're going to pull some bullshit enabled. Like, crossplay specifically, like, I want to be able to go and play with my boys.
Yeah.
Or my ladies. And, be able to enjoy the game together. Crossplay, cross-platform enabled is like the difference between immunization and vaccinated. They don't mean the same damn same thing. They're not functional. If you have crossplay platform, I need to be able to find the people, because if not, it's not true crossplay, and you're just lying to me.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
So here's another thing. So for those parents out there that might be a little nervous with games that are cross-platform, most games have it to where you can actually turn it off. So you don't have to worry about your kids getting in places and lobbies with people that are on a different console or PC. So if you're worried about that, there are a lot of those games that we're talking about. They do have it as an option to turn it on or off. You just have to go in and look at the game settings. So don't think that you get this game and you're like, oh God, my kid's gonna be playing with all these kids from from all kinds of different things. No, you have that option to enable it or disable it. So
perfect. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to take everybody's time up too much. I know this is a quick episode. Like I said, we just want to reemphasize that we really appreciate everyone's support that listens and watches the show. And we're super excited about the future. We've got 2 episodes left. We're going to release one around Thanksgiving and one around Christmas. We'll probably do a week or so before Christmas just to give you those last-minute buying tips for those that are a little bit nervous or waited to the last minute or procrastinated, like probably what I will do. I don't have all my routines set. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how I can move, when I can move, a bachelor party and a wedding, all coming up at the same time. Next week I'm in Jamaica, so it is I know, horrible job that I have. Listen, you know that it's not all bells and whistles over there, Jay. I'm going to be in meetings all day, so.
No, it's actually pretty damn miserable what you're going to do down there. So
yeah,
you're going to see paradise on your way to a conference room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tour it in a long sleeve shirt and black pants.
Oh.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. That's going to be awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much. Kia, thank you so much for joining this team. I'm sorry to you that it seems like we're unorganized, because we are. Just trying to work out our schedules. Like I said, Jay and myself, we do the Sunday show, we do the Wednesday shows. So it kind of gets run over, and moving this to a pre-recorded segment just kind of took me off guard. Plus I'm recording everyone else's shows, and we just kind of run out of time. Plus you have your own streaming schedule. So a big shout out to the bakery, your community. I know that it's always alive and well. I look through all the chat every day. I don't always have something to add. And if I do add, usually it's Kia yelling at me that I put it in the wrong place. So now it makes me afraid to talk to everyone in there. She's like, James, this isn't where that goes. And I'm like, listen, you're lucky I was able to figure out how to post it in here to begin with. I'm still learning Discord myself.
Look,
but I can always move the messages. I can always move them.
But she doesn't just move them. She yells at me and then moves them.
I do. I said, like, this is the wrong channel. Don't worry, I'll move it.
Just kick him in the balls before you do what you got to do.
And don't forget, one last mention, if you were someone that got on here and liked the shows and listened to Jordan is not gone. She is a permanent member of Last Choice Network. She is on our Sunday live shows, and she is on our Wednesday game shows. She's in and out sometimes as we all get a little bit busy, but she is an original founder with Jay and Ender and myself. So she will always be a part of this, so you're not missing out. She just isn't a part of this show. And we brought in the lovely Kia, who actually has a son, which makes a little bit more sense and kind of propel us to what we want to go. So thank you guys so much. Jay, any closing comments to you?
No, man, I'm excited to do. I'm really excited about our Thanksgiving episode where I'm gonna dress up. I don't know how I'm gonna dress up, but I'm gonna see if I can find maybe some turkey feathers and get a little costume going on. James, I'd really like to see you in a pilgrim outfit with the hat with the buckle and then the big frilly up in the front and everything.
I'll get an Indian outfit. A little feather sticking out.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
Are we gonna get canceled for that?
No, why would we get canceled?
I mean, I don't know. Celebrating Thanksgiving,
we don't show up.
Sorry, we massacred half your race. Okay. Here, have some food with us for one day.
Look, November 1st was the start of Indigenous Peoples Month.
Listen here, I'm part Native American.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I'm the same. Yeah, very small, just enough to get a tan. So I can't claim it on tax purposes.
I'm not.
Straight up white Texan.
He's like, I'm not.
I'm not. Yeah. German and Irish.
I got Irish in me too. But thankfully I have enough Indian or Native in me I can tan.
All right, everybody.
She's so much Irish. She can't hold a tan. Cannot. She's tried.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Once again, Parents vs. Gaming, we really appreciate you, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.